Hello, TopFanRivalry followers, and welcome to another episode of Unraveling the Red Sox. It's been a couple of days. Mike and I have been traveling. Mike's gone to see a famous mouse. I have been sweating my Becketts off in the mafia town of Las Vegas. But now we're together. It's going to be good times. Mike, how are you doing?
That's right. We're doing well, Bill. Thanks for having me on. As always, love recording Unraveling the Red Sox, talking baseball with you. I'm actually repping the Red Sox.
Yep,
Uh,
yep, yep. And
but yeah, it's been a crazy week, personally. But the Red Sox are still chugging along, and we'll talk about it.
choo choo. Yeah, exactly. So since we last talked, you guys saw the Orioles, you guys saw the Tigers. Split with the Tigers, 2-2, dropped two of three to the Orioles. What are your thoughts about this last week with the Red Sox?
Yeah, I mean, they did exactly what we thought they were going to do when we started with after we talked three against the Brewers after last week's episode, where they lost two out of three. Then they lost two out of three to the Orioles. Kind of what we thought, 2-4. You're going against two of the better teams in baseball, two of the better pitching teams in baseball. Um, they're sticking around in a lot of these games with chances to win, in most games, which is really good to see. Um, you know, there's been more injuries. Tyler O'Neill's down again. Uh, Vaughn Grissom isn't doing too much, and he's gone down with an injury this week. So some of these guys that we've been relying on to really be consistent players for us are going down. Good news is that pitching has still been pretty strong and pretty solid as far as the starters go. Um, yeah, and then we just split with the Tigers, and more to come on that later, of course. But everyone loves a good tie. So
Define
yeah,
everyone, Mike. You define
yeah,
everyone.
yeah, yeah. And by everyone, I mean no one.
Yeah, everybody that's a casual baseball fan loves the tie. Everybody that's, die hard like you and I. What do you mean we like the tie? Are you kidding me?
Right, right. So I mean, it's fun to see these teams come in and play. Uh, Especially a young and hungry Orioles team that's a strong team. But you know, hate to see the Red Sox lose. And go 2-4 over a 6 game series. So now they're 4-8 over the last. So you know, said 333, winning a third of the games, right? So it's not what we're looking for, but we play the schedule that we're dealt, whether we're traveling cross country back and forth for short sets, or we're playing the good teams. You got to play the good teams and the bad teams. So
Yeah, your reference to short sets are reference to my Dodgers, who just flew across country from New York to play a three-game series at home to fly back to Pittsburgh and back to New York. Makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. So, you know, thank you for the reference.
good thing Adrian Gonzalez isn't on that team anymore.
Yeah. Well, you loved him in Boston.
I did love Adrian Gonzalez. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really was a fan of Adrian Gonzalez. Obviously he was a Red Sox draft pick farmhand. Uh and to get him back and playing with us was great. But you know, he didn't he didn't love it so much. He didn't like the spotlight.
Well, listen, the spotlight it shines a little brighter when you're in Boston or LA or New York than
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does in San Diego.
right.
Back when,
A lot of those guys didn't like the spotlight too much. Carl Crawford, he couldn't handle the spotlight. He just melted down.
well, it's funny because you talk about spotlights, and like you see a lot of guys back then, the Padres, I mean, they barely had like a flashlight on them, much less anything
Oh
else.
yeah, no, yep,
Um,
no,
and
yep.
then you go over to Boston, and yeah, that didn't work out so well for him. And then he came to LA. He had a great career in LA, but all very good, Adrian Gonzalez, that guy.
Yes, very good, very good. He's like JD Martinez, he's very good.
Yeah. Ask some of the people in Queens right now what they think of JD Martinez.
Well,
You might get a different answer.
JD Martinez is on the downside, the downslide right now.
Yes. Yes, his end of his career, end of his career.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know you're going to be on another episode talking about the Tigers, uh, later this week. But talk to me a little bit about what you saw this week, a few positives, a few negatives, and then let's talk about your upcoming schedule because you have a very unique next, I'm going to call it 2 week,
Weekend,
give or
yeah,
take.
2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, with a couple of days off in there, but this is going to be your beta test and see how good you really are or aren't, right? So first talk to me about this last week. What
right.
did you see?
Yeah. So with the Tiger series, you know, we went 2-2, got shut out in the first game, and then came back and handily won games 2 and 3. Um, you know, and then today, something that doesn't happen too often for the Red Sox happened where they had a lead and they lost the lead. Uh, I don't think that that's happened very often for this team this year. Maybe only a handful of times where they've had a lead and then really blown it. Most of the time they're either winning and they hold the lead for the whole game, or they are getting crushed and they played a couple of runs. So that was something interesting that happened at least today in the series. But when a couple of 500 teams get together, what are they going to do? They're going to split, right? So um,
Everybody got a participation trophy.
exactly, exactly. They all showed up. Yeah.
Yay, they split.
Yay.
Yeah.
We saw Willier hit a home run. Go Willier Abreu. Willier hit a home run in the series. Um, we'll talk a little bit more when I guest star with Harmony. Uh, Make sure you check that episode out. On Is that going to be
Tiger
on
Town Talk.
YouTube? Is that going to
Tiger
be on
Town
YouTube
Talk.
also, or
What's that?
is
Yes,
that going to
YouTube
be
and
on
locker room.
on
Correct.
YouTube
Yeah,
and
YouTube
behind
and
the
locker room.
locker room? All right, excellent. So
Tiger
make sure
Town
you
Talk.
check out Tiger Town Talk. I guest star. Harmony and I are going to break down this 4 games weekend swing. Uh, yeah, so nothing. I mean, it's kind of a pedestrian series. Exactly what you would expect to get out of from both teams, and you saw some bad pitching from both teams. You know, I don't want to take all my shoot all my bullets,
Mhm.
out of my gun for
For
my
for
guest
later
star
for the
tomorrow.
other
But
episode. So let's talk
we
about
saw,
schedule then. Let's talk about
sure,
schedule
yeah,
because I'm interested on your opinion on this. Okay, so you guys are 30 and 30 right now. You're a few games out of first place. You're you're
a
you're
few.
you're 3.5 back in the wild card, which is
Yep,
nothing. I mean, that's just 1 week of baseball. That's not a big deal.
right.
But
Yep,
you got the Braves coming in for two, and then you go to Chicago and you play the worst team in baseball. And then you come home and you got Philly for three and the Yankees for three. So talk to me about, I mean, you have the Braves are 4-6 in the last 10. They're struggling. They're missing, obviously,
they're
Spencer
banged
Stash
up.
Strider went out, and now Ronald Acuna. So 4-6 in the last 10. They're
A
kind
quick
of,
set. For some reason, the Red Sox and the Braves love to play 2 game sets.
yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't get it.
It's always the Braves. Usually they do a home and home too. Usually too. So two in Atlanta, then 2 in Boston, or vice versa.
Well,
back
what's
to
funny
back.
about this is I'm looking at the schedule, and you gotta, and you would think that this is a travel thing, and the flight from Boston to Chicago is what, 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are playing at 1:35 Eastern on Wednesday and playing at 8:10 Eastern on Thursday with an hour and a half flight in between. I'm not thinking that we're gonna wear these boys
That's
out with that flight.
that's 8:10 Central. That's
Uh
Central time.
oh, it
But
says EDT on the schedule.
hmm,
Huh, okay.
I mean that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that means
It's a 7 o'clock Chicago time game.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Listen,
Eight
I
o'clock,
don't
8 o'clock Eastern.
I don't write the I don't write the
Yeah.
rules here. I just read off what the script says,
Right.
right?
Right. I
Um,
just read the teleprompter, whatever comes across the prompt.
yeah. I just re I just read whatever comes across the prompter. And then you guys get a day off to fly back from Chicago. I mean, that's
Excuse me.
glorious. I like that. But tell me about this next 2 weeks.
Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
No, no, you're good.
Yeah, so we got the banged up Braves for a couple. We'll see what happens. Uh, that's gonna be all about pitching. Both of those series, wherever pitchers show up, uh, is gonna be what happens. So who's gonna take those games down? They're in Boston. Albies has been pretty good so far or lately, so he'll be the one that the Red Sox uh are gonna have to key in on and keep off the bases and keep in check. Uh I love, by the way, seeing Travis d'Arnaud playing so well. Uh it's been a couple of years that he's been pretty solid, but he was a guy that dipped for a little while in his career, and to see a resurgence is great, especially on that team. And then we get a week off where we go to Chicago. The Red Sox can enjoy some deep dish pizza and
Maybe play a little baseball, but who
roll
knows?
out of bed and head to Comiskey or US Cellular or whatever they're calling it these days, and hopefully win 3 out of 4 in that series. If they split against the Braves, we're happy. 3 out of 4 is the expectation. If not a full sweep of the White
Oh,
Sox,
sweet.
they are garbage. There's no reason that they shouldn't sweep, and then come home and just get the two juggernauts of baseball right now. We thought the Brewers and the Orioles were going to be tough, and now we have the Phillies and the Yankees coming in. So
Yeah, yeah. You don't like there's no rest for the wicked, the weary, however you want to put this.
yeah,
I mean,
and the Red Sox aren't wicked or weary. Well, they may be a little weary. They're definitely not wicked.
yeah,
Um, I'm excited to see Harper. Hey, I love Bryce Harper. He's one of my favorite players. That my favorite non-Red Sox players. I just love the swagger that he brings to his game, and
Swagger's a
with
good
good
word.
reason. Bryce Harper in baseball. Um, we can talk more about that next week. Will be next time we talk, which will be in the middle of that series. I'm sure Schwarber will probably clobber us because uh, the Red Sox decided not to sign him for some reason. Um, but hey, I think Tristan Casas is making his way back, so there's that.
Listen, you guys, I hate to be Mike O'Damas here and Bill O'Damas here on this, but I mean, we kind of said this is where the Red Sox would be, and they started out a little wicked hot, and we kind of were like shaking our heads, going, "Huh? What?
Right?
What?
Yeah.
What? Wait a second, is this team this good?" And then they finally said, "No, no, 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 boys. We just wanted to show you that you could be wrong for a portion of the season. We're
Yeah.
going to play 500 ball."
We started the season, you know, playing all a bunch of mediocre teams, and mediocre teams are going to beat below average teams, and that's what they did. They had the Angels, who we talked in the pre-show, are the second worst team in baseball right now. and they're not really showing any signs of anything. And that was when they had Trout healthy too, when they took care of them. But that yeah, so the wagon wheel keeps rolling, and we'll see what happens. They are fun to watch, and thankfully, uh, the eyes of Boston, are still not fully on the Red Sox. So they still have time to iron out some of these kinks before they come into full focus. You know, when the NBA Finals ends in September. So.
NBA Finals ends in September. NBA Finals is going to end a little sooner than that, but close enough. Close enough. Is
To
it
think.
is it
Yeah.
Celtics? Is it Celtics Nation out there or what right now?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we believe in the Celtics out here. I'm not sure the Celtics believe in the Celtics. They are trying to create their own narrative of being the underdog in this series. But they aren't.
Yeah, no. It, I can't remember in my lifetime, in my 40 plus years, I won't say how many past 40. I can't remember in my lifetime when the Celtics were considered underdogs, unless they were playing the Showtime Lakers. I can't
Yeah,
remember the last time they used underdog and Celtics in the same sentence.
right. Especially when they were the best team in the league this year.
Yeah,
Uh and the pace that they've been playing at, uh if the Red Sox you know, can show up and maybe surprise some people against the Phillies. Hopefully we miss Ranger and Wheeler, and that'll be good. Uh and maybe, have a good showing against the Yankees. Then when the eyes of Boston turn to the Red Sox, they'll be, we'll have something to talk about.
truth, truth, truth.
We'll have to learn some of these players' names.
Willie Hayes, Mitchell Freeman, Ricky Vaughn. I haven't heard of some of these guys.
Who the F are these guys?
Yeah, Jake Taylor, uh, Pedro Serrano. I will tell you though, I will the best thing ever. So I'm in Las Vegas at an Aviators game, and I'm in this suite area where it's kind of like a chef's thing where you get invited in. The chef brought us in. He was fantastic. And I'm looking around at the jerseys. Now, mind you, the Las Vegas Aviators are the AAA affiliate for the A's. The Space
All right.
Cowboys are the AAA affiliate for the Astros. And I saw two jerseys in there. I saw an Indians jersey with the 00 and Hayes on the back of it. And then standing next to him, a couple of tables down, I saw an Indians jersey 99 with Vaughn on the back of it. I'm like, all
You
right,
may hit like Mays, but he
yeah,
runs like
you may run like Mays, but you hit like crap.
yeah. There it is. There it is. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, too funny, too funny. All right,
Oh
Mike,
man, yeah. Lou Brown, no bet. There's no better manager in baseball history than downtown Lou Brown.
I might move to England. I love this crap.
I love this British.
Man,
Oh
I
man,
I wish they would have made like a Major League Three that wasn't back to the minors, right?
yeah.
This time they win the World Series, right? One time they got to the playoffs, one time they won the playoffs. In the playoffs, I wish you would just have made one where they won the series.
Nobody
So
cares about Rube.
no, no, exactly. His shimmy it drives women
Oh,
crazy here in Cleveland.
oh
I guess,
Parkman.
yeah,
It makes the girls in Cleveland barf.
yeah. Rube.
Oh, Bob Uecker is just call after call after
Yeah,
call in that movie. I'm
yeah.
gonna
He
have to
was.
watch that now. Thanks,
Yeah, it's
Bill.
it's. I
You really
watched it
gotta make me
recently.
suffer through that.
Yeah, I watched it recently, and somebody. So we did. Can you
I
believe
mean, like,
this? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, is the people that are on the team what make the movie, or like the auxiliary people, like Bob Uecker and like Randy Quaid, right? Like
Yeah.
Randy Quaid is amazing in that movie.
They're gonna blow it in the playoffs.
They're gonna blow it. They're gonna blow it too high. It's too high.
Who gives a crap? It's gone. Yep.
Dying,
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah. And so, um, yeah, I watched that recently. It was so funny because I thought that would go, a significant portion away in our draft, right? In our thing.
Yeah,
And it did. It did. But I was surprised because I put Fever Pitch up against something. And I figured, kind of 1 in 16 type thing. I figured Fever Pitch wasn't going to go very far in our Top Fan Rivalry bracket. And it beat out it, like it went farther. And I thought, guys, a good rom-com is good, but that was terrible. Like that wasn't
it
even
was
a decent,
awful. It was so
yeah,
bad.
yeah, that wasn't even a decent movie. And so Mikey, I'm not going to admit this to very many people, so let's just keep it between you and I here. But I may have, after I saw the bracket, I may have tried to rewatch that, and I got about 35, 45 minutes into it, and I'm like, this is as bad as I remember. Okay, off, and I
I mean, so like with Fever Pitch, I just feel like the intent of the movie was like totally shattered because it was supposed to be like, oh, they lose again, you know? And then they won, so they had to change intending to make the movie to be. So like the entire like lead up to the movie, the entire like story of the movie didn't make any sense, or didn't like go along with what the ending was. So it's
yeah,
just like very
it,
choppy, and like I can't even like you know tell you anything about it because as a Red Sox fan, it didn't resonate at all.
as a baseball fan, it didn't resonate at all.
Right. Right.
Like
So I mean,
it
like we just talked about, like with Major League, like we could run off like all the great lines from that movie. Like we could talk about pretty much almost any movie that was in that bracket. We could talk about ad
yep,
nauseum,
yep.
and Fever Pitch just really fell flat on its face. So
Although
I'm
Fever Pitch
very
made it to like the
surprised,
second or third round, and I thought, how is this possible?
very surprised. It must
Yeah,
have been people like, I mean, I like Jimmy Fallon, so like don't get me, like it didn't have anything, and I like Drew Barrymore too, so like it doesn't have anything to do with it. So maybe people were just voting on it because of that, or people were trolling you.
yep, 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 yep. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I made it, like I said, I made it through about 45 minutes, and then I turned on Field of Dreams, and I remembered how good Field of Dreams was.
Right.
And then you know how Amazon Video, I don't know if you have Amazon Video, but you know how Amazon Video like shows at the top, keep watching, and then I just clicked onto it and like it could remove it from your list. I'm like, remove from my list. I don't want to remember that I did this for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Please don't make me
Right.
do that.
Don't
So,
make me do it.
yeah. Now, no hate on Boston, no hate on Drew Barrymore, no hate on Jimmy Fallon. Um, Whoever wrote the script and sold that script to a studio, the studio must have been having a really slow day that day,
Hmm.
right? Really
Right.
slow day that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very slow.
So, but yeah, it was
They should
not
have just
awesome.
made it the way that they intended, and should have just had them lose in the movie. Like it
Go. There you go.
should have changed it.
There you go.
Um, the Red Sox have a pitcher with a sub 2 ERA, a starter.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
yeah.
Do you know that the Astros have a reliever turned setup guy, former closer that has an ERA of about 400? And every time, I won't mention his name, but every time Ryan Presley comes in, people in Houston are like, "Oh no!" And
Yeah.
again, we don't name drop here on the show, but Ryan Presley, and it just was he did it again today. Astros
Yeah.
lost.
So like, all right. So Ryan Presley has been around for in baseball years, a long time as a closer and a setup guy, as a bullpen guy. So like everyone has seen Ryan Presley. Everybody knows what he has, and he's getting older. And like I just don't think that there's a reason that bullpen guys like are recycled. I just don't think that like you can really like have that long of a career unless you're like elite. And Ryan Presley is not elite. He's just okay. So,
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about not just Ryan Presley, but any reliever. There's a reason that like your bullpen changes every year. Uh I mean, I would love to have had guys like, excuse me, like Mike Myers, Alan Embry, and Mike Timlin in our bullpen forever.
the guy from Halloween. I'm teasing.
No,
Yeah, I'm teasing. Not the guy from Halloween, Mike Myers.
so like uh they do their job. Like look at a guy like Okajima, right? Okajima was lights out for like 2 or 3 years, and then he got knocked all over the place. So like I mean, it's been at least 11 years of Ryan Presley. So, like, everybody's seen him. Everybody knows what he has. He's probably lost a little bit on it. And now the Astros are just like, yeah, he's our guy. He's out there.
Yeah, but you know what? The Astros, the people in Houston are people in Houston are thinking their dynasty is over, and it may be. I don't know. I still think the American League West has not done enough to put the Astros far enough behind them. Seattle has
Yeah.
not done enough,
No.
and so I still think the Astros got a shot, but you can't keep
Yeah.
losing 2 out of 3 games.
No, definitely not. And I mean, they still have the talent in their lineup. I mean, Kyle Tucker is an MVP candidate, you know. So that's still a formidable lineup out there in Houston. But if your bullpen is blowing the game, maybe that's what needs to change.
Yep, exactly. All right,
But
so let's do this again. Let's do this
yeah,
again. We're going to take a week off because we're recording a little later, and you got 2 episodes this week. So you've got Unraveling the Red Sox, and you're going to be a guest on Tigers Town Talk. The gloves are going to get
yeah,
dropped after the Tigers and the Red Sox split. I'm
did
sure
a
Harvey
little
will.
like did a
Yeah,
little like patty caking,
yeah,
two and
exactly. As
two.
hard as Harvey's like, here we go. But yeah, it's yes. Um, the yeah. So let's talk again next week. And we'll do this again. And then, like I said, go Red Sox, and please don't watch Fever Pitch. If you can avoid watching Fever Pitch, by all
Yes, yeah,
means, not to throw shade on Fever Pitch, but please avoid watching
no,
Fever Pitch.
documentary about the Red Sox. Go watch 3 nights in October. It's a much better use of 45 minutes.
Yeah. All right, Mike, we'll do it again. Again, folks, this is if you're watching this on YouTube, great. Check out our locker room. Check out TopFanRivalry.com. There's a number of things, which, by the way, Mike, we just got our first shipment in this weekend of dugout mugs. It has
All
the Red
right.
Sox logo on the front, and on the back, it has the Top Fan Rivalry logo. And it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And so yeah, it is. But if you order anything from TopFanRivalry.com, you must use the discount code. Mike, what's the discount code?
Discount code Unraveling.
Unraveling. Unraveling is the discount code. So there you go. We'll look forward to doing it again next week, my friend.
That's right. Can't wait.
All right, talk to you soon.
We'll see you soon, Bill.
Bye bye.